Hello friends, in last lecture we have discussed about how transportation of blood is done in our body. In that also we have studied about structure of human heart and how blood is circulated in our body. In that we discussed that the blood in humans, right, it passes twice from the heart, so it is also called double circulation. Today we are going to understand about how transportation is done in plants. In last lecture we have also discussed about what is lymph and what is lymphatic system. The intercellular fluid that is considered as lymph, it has less protein in comparison to blood. So in today's lecture we will discuss about transportation in plants. So let's start. Transportation in plants. Now first of all, why this transportation in plants is necessary? We all know that leaves is kitchen of plants. Food is generally prepared in leaves. We know that in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, by using carbon dioxide and water, in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, we have studied that the plants will prepare glucose plus oxygen plus water and energy is released, right? So as we have studied all this, so here the process of preparation of food, here we have not balanced the equation because we just want the concept. So here this is our glucose, it is the food. See, the food in plants, it is prepared in leaf, but it is necessary to supply that food to different part of plants. So how it is done, right? So for that there will be a transportation system in plants. Now there will be transportation of water and transportation of food in plants. First we will discuss about how transportation of water is done in plant. Then we will discuss that how transportation of food is done in plant. Generally we know that plants, they do movement, right? But they don't propagate from one place to another. So the energy requirement in plants, it will be less in comparison to animals and humans. But here we will see that the plants, this part which is in air, that is called its aerial part. So the food which is prepared in leaves, the water which they are gaining from roots, it must be supplied to all of the part of plants. Generally if we have a short plant, so there is a less difference, right, of height between its root and its stalk. So where there is a short plant, in that case we will not require any of system. In short plants, the transportation of water and the transportation of different nutrients, it is done by the process of diffusion, right? But it happens only in short plants. In short plants there will be process of diffusion, and by the process of diffusion, right, it will water or nutrients, it will transfer to each and every part. Generally we know that water is taken from soil and other components like nitrogen, phosphorus, it is also taken from soil. So how this take place? First of all, if we want to understand the diffusion, we must know that if we talk about the root, if we enlarge this, so we will use to know that the root which is present. So see, this root and here at the stem, at every point of it, there will be a ionic difference. If we take out two different points, so suppose at this point and at this point, between these 2 points, suppose here we consider it as A and B, so between these 2 points there will be ionic concentration difference, and due to this ionic concentration difference, water, it will get rushed from point A to point B. Similarly, here if we consider as point C, so between this point B and point C, there will be also ionic concentration difference. So water will again rush from B to C. Now if we think further, so here also there will be, suppose here we take a point D. So here between point C and point B, there will be also ionic concentration difference. And this difference, it is satisfied by flowing of water. When water will reach to the point and it will try to maintain, it will try to eliminate the difference of ionic concentration in root to stem. So this way diffusion process take place. Generally, we can understand this by a concept of column. We can understand it like this. Suppose if we take the stem, right, and how water is going in upward direction. So we can understand like this, that here we are trying to imagine it in a column form. So what will happen? Suppose if we enlarge any of this part, so we can say that suppose this is a point A and a point B and a point C. So here at point A and point B, we will have the concentration difference. So due to this concentration difference, water will move in a such a way that it will eliminate the concentration difference. Now see, at point B and point C, there is also the concentration difference. So what will happen? Water will get diffused in upward direction. So this way, from B to C, it will move. If we think further, so here, now from point C to point D, if you want to go, so if there is a difference in the pressure, if there is a difference of ionic concentration between point C and point D, water will move from point C to point D. So this way, water, it moves in different columns. So this concept of column, it is related with the process of diffusion. So in a short plant where the distance of propagation, where the transportation, it is at very less, so in that case the process is done by the process by diffusion, right? Water is transported, nutrients are transported by the diffusion through ionic constant difference here, as we understood, and we can also understand it by the concept of column. So this way in whole of the plant we can understand like this. If there is a difference of concentration, so it will move by the process of diffusion. Now what happens in the tall plants? What happens when this transportation path is very long? Diffusion, by the process of diffusion in short plants, the transportation of water and nutrients, it will be possible, it is sufficient. But if we have a tall plant, if the path of transportation is big, so diffusion is not sufficient to transport water from one point to another, to transport nutrient to each and every part of plants. In such case, we will require some systems, and that system for water, for transportation of water, it will be different, and for transportation of food, it will be different. For transportation of water, we will get a system of xylem, and for transportation of nutrients or salts, we will get a system of phloem. So let's see how that system of xylem and how that system of phloem works. Okay, now let's discuss that when there is a more distance for transportation of water from root to top, so in that case only diffusion is not sufficient. For that we will require a system, and that system it will be of xylem and phloem. Xylem, it will be a system for transportation of water, and phloem, it will be system of transportation of different nutrients. Now in this case also diffusion will be done, but by the only process of diffusion water will not reach to each and every point. So we will have a system of xylem. Xylem is responsible for transportation of water, right? Okay, now one more thing here, with the xylem it will propagate also, that when it is passing by a column system, by the concentration difference and by the concept of column, we know that in plants, if we talk about it, we know generally in plants, due to stomata, water, it is released out by the process of evaporation. Now what happens, that when from the leaves, if the water, it is evaporated out, so here in leaves and at different parts there will be a pressure difference created, and due to this pressure difference, right, water, it will lift upside, it will get a pull in upside direction. So see, for that we will understand what is transpiration. So transpiration, it is a process in which water is removed from aerial part of plants, and generally we know it will be leaves. So by leaves, when the water is removed, so what will happen, it will create a transpirationary pull to water. So when water is removed from the stomata, it removed from the leaves, right? So here the concentration of water in leaves and the concentration of water and ions at different part. Due to this concentration difference, right, due to this pressure difference, the water will get a pull in upward direction and diffusion is there, but due to this transpirationary pull, it will move in upward direction. So it will provide a force to water, right, to move in upward direction, and water will move in upward direction. So simple, by the process of transpiration will provide our water to lift upward, right? So by the process of transpiration and the diffusion process, water is transported to all of the part of the plants. Similarly, here for transportation of different type of nutrients, there will be system of phloem. By the system of phloem, right, the food which is prepared in leaves, that food, it is sent to different part of plants, to the different each and every part of plants. For that the phloem will work, and the process of that is called translocation. Translocation means what? Translocation means transportation of food to different parts of plant, right? So translocation means it is a transportation of food to different part of plants, and transpiration means water is removed from the aerial part, right, from the stomatas of leaf. So again, try to understand that in short, if we talk about the short plants, in that only by the process of diffusion water was transported. But if the path of transportation is big, so not only by the diffusion water will get transported. For that we will have a xylem system and phloem system. See, xylem system, it is responsible for transportation of water, while the phloem system, it is responsible for transportation of nutrients. By the process of transpiration, transpiration is the process in which water is removed from the aerial part means which is in contact with air, with the aerial part of the plant, and generally we can say that it is leaf, from the stomata by opening and closing of guard cells. By opening and closing of stomata by the guard cells, water is evaporated out from the leaf, and due to that there will be a pressure difference created, there will be a concentration difference created between 2 points, and it will provide a lift to the water to move in upward direction. That is called our transpiration pull. So due to that transpiration pull, water will move in upward direction. And what is benefit of that transpiration pull? Due to that transpiration pull, water will get a lift in upward direction. Also, as the water is transported, so there will be a regulation of temperature and regulation of water. Nutrients and water will be supplied to each and every part, right? And the concentration difference, the ionic concentration difference, it will get satisfied. So these all are benefits of transpiration. If we talk about phloem, so phloem is responsible for transportation of different type of nutrients. The nutrients which is prepared by leaves, it is transported to each and every part of plant. So that process is called translocation. So in the process of translocation, food is transported to different part of plants, right? So by the process of translocation, food and the nutrients which is prepared in leaves, it is sent to different parts of plant. So this way transportation take place. So this way, by transpiration process and translocation process, with the help of xylem and phloem. In xylem we will have different xylem cells, and in phloem we will have companion cells and sweet tubes. Due to that, the translocation by phloem and transpiration by xylem will take place. See, in this translocation, the requirement of food, it will be different in different seasons, right? So it may be differ in different plants, right? So with the help of transpiration and translocation, how the transportation is done in plants, that is explained here, and it is also provided in your worksheet and assignment. So focus on your worksheet and assignment and try to understand the questions which is asked. With the help of video and the worksheet and the data which is given there, you are able to write the questions answer, right? So this way, in short plants and in long plants, means the plants which have less height, the plants which path is less for transportation, and the plants which have a long path of transportation, how transpiration and translocation is done. This both definition is very most important. Due to this translocation only, the energy flow of energy will be maintained in plants, right? So transpiration and translocation, generally transpiration, it's a evaporation which is done through leaves, right, by stomata, and in translocation by phloem, by the companion cells, by the sheath tubes of phloem, it will be worked. So thank you.